Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about how modern life is making us uglier. And these two pictures perfectly illustrate this concept. This is how we want to look. We want to have high dimorphism. We want to look appealing to the mass. But most of us typically look like this, like an average American that's diet runs on burgers, sodas, and McDonald's. So, this video covers why modern life is making us uglier. And before we begin, I want to preface this by saying that all the knowledge that is in this video is from Dr. Mike Mew, and it is all available online for free. So I encourage you to ask questions and engage because we only live once, and doing your own research is more worth it, if you ask me. And let's begin. We are not normal. Humans are not normal. We wear clothes, we brush hair, we wash our teeth, we're sedentary, and we carry phones in pockets. Now, these are just some examples, but these are not normal things that, as the first humans of Earth ever did, we made these things normal. Carrying literally cancer in our cell, that's not normal, yet we do it. There's evidence that shows that phones shrink your balls. Yeah, we still do it because modern life has made it so normal and it's societally accepted that we think it's normal. And now I want to say why does modern life make it us uglier? It's mainly to do with our facial growth. I mean, there's other factors too, but when people look at looks, it's usually facially. And most people think it's all genetics when it's really not. So here's the picture that I wanted to show you guys. And this is typically what most people look like on the bottom here. They typically have tired eyes, you know, a setback jaw, smaller airways, tech neck, skinny neck, crooked teeth, and they have poor cheekbones, narrow face, obviously. And this is what a Chad or someone who's just more attractively appealing looks like. And they have a well developed jaw, they have good airway size, they have nice hunter sharp eyes, straight nose, a wider face, straight teeth, and good definition of cheekbones. And most people believe this is typically genetics, but that's just not true at all because environments and other factors play within how this happens right here, how one goes from this to this. And it's because of our how we were raised, our environment, and what we do on a day-to-day basis that affects a majority of this. And here are two of the main things that are important, and I think these are one of the like two of the biggest takeaways from this video. And it's that the food we choose to eat nowadays is often soft and made easier to eat. So let's think about McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, even rice. These foods are made so that we can digest it easier and it's easier for us to make, but that's not easier for us to eat, but that's not actually the primary goal of our body. Our body wants to chew on harder food. If you chew on harder food, you get a jawline like this, you get a face like this, and it's more aesthetic. But when you don't eat these hard foods and you're chewing on these soft, easy to eat food, and you're chewing less now, you're not working out the muscles in your bone, which are needed to hypertrophy, which means grow and make you look ultimately better. We don't do this anymore because we have softer food and our diet and our palate is made to shrink our face rather than improve it. So start chewing on harder food like chicken breast, anything like apples, fruits, things that are hard to bite down, and it will actually make you look more attractive. Now, second thing is that mouth open, open tongue. And what this means is look at this guy. He has his mouth open like this, right? Tongue down, and it's just like it's not a good look because typically the way we breathe is through our nose. That's the first airway that we breathe in through. The way you can fix this is mewing. Now, Dr. Mike Mew, that's literally his name. I think everyone knows mewing by now. And that's the act of literally, like, I don't know if you can see, but like having closed mouth, pressing up against the the top of the roof of your mouth and holding that throughout the day, you know. One tip that I typically do is having tape before you go to bed. I do that a lot. And yeah, you can do that. And another thing I recommend, this is like tiptoeing back to what I said before about chewing longer. You know how your mom probably said to you when you were younger, chew 30 to 40 times before you swallow, and that's so true because it actually helps you look more facially aesthetic because you're chewing. Uh, and again, like I said, you want to grow your muscle, right? I mean, there was actually a study done on rats on this, you know. They had one rat. This is the rat, right? They had one rat eat hard food, right? Like chicken breast. And they had another rat. We'll put two. And he was eating like this mushed up garbage. And he had a worse facial structure. And he just had a double chin. While the other rat didn't. The other rat had a nice defined jawline and, you know, overall better gut health and a better all digestive system because he was chewing on harder food. So yeah, keep that in mind. And here's a question that I want to ask you guys. What do you think is the most important thing in your life after your next breath? And obviously the answer is right here. And it's the airways through which you breathe. This is very important, right? And how we typically breathe or how we're typically supposed to breathe as humans is through our nasal, you know? We're supposed to breathe through our nose. And this is a funny story about this. I had an uncle who caught COVID because he was playing badminton and he said he couldn't breathe through his nose and he was breathing through his mouth. And since like was breathing through his mouth, he's more likely to get caught with COVID because breathing through your nose makes you less likely. Make it's smaller airway, you know what I mean? And there was literally a study done showing that if you breathe through your nose, you're less likely to get sick. But when you are sick and congested, uh, you typically start breathing through your mouth and your mouth opens up like in this picture and it's just a mess, you know, and it makes you look uglier. So, you know, we typically want to breathe through our nose. We want to breathe through our nose and close our mouth so we can have a solid structure. Now I wanted to say the next thing I want to go on about is babies and how babies are literally a perfect example of modern life. Nowadays, babies like this is the food that they eat. They eat mushed up like blended up food. We didn't have blenders back in like I don't know, thousand years ago. We did not have blenders and they were eating hard chewing foods and they didn't have double chins. Well, I guess they kind of did, but you know, my point is they're now so used to sucking instead of chewing that their face bloats up, and this is the same with people that aren't babies, that are older, that are adults. They're so used to sucking on things, they use straws and they just do sucking motion that their cheeks are just often more puffed up, and that's the same thing with me, you know. I used to suck on so much stuff. Now this sounds wrong, but that's just plainly the truth. I was using straws. Even when I swallowed food and stuff, it just I swallowed it right away instead of taking my time to chew, and this really made me facially unesthetic. And moreover, one of the biggest reasons that we get stuck in life, how modern life attacks us, is through technology. Like I said before, carrying cancer in our literal pockets. But more than that, we are looking down at a phone every day, and that literally builds up the double chin. It makes it weaker because you're not holding that posture. You know what I mean? You're not holding that nice facial structure that you should be using, like this guy over here was, right? We're not doing this anymore. We're just letting our necks fall down. We're letting our posture fall down. We're having rounded shoulders, and that makes us look uglier because it gives us the thing that people term, I think it's called tech neck, where you're just constantly like this and we're not moving much. We're at work, sitting, we're at school, we're just sitting, we're not moving around. and it's just not conducive to a good environment. It's not conducive to facial aesthetics. So the beauty is in the maxilla though, and this is the main importance that I want to get to here. The maxilla is this bone that goes all across your face and literally connects everything together. When you bite, you chew, you're using your maxilla and mandible. So you want to grow, like when you chew on hard food, you want to grow these. You want to use these muscles typically and grow them to get a wider jaw and make it look just more defined, lower body fat, more sharp. Now, one tip I do recommend here, um, here I will put it here. Mastic gum. Let me see if I can find it. You want to typically, if you guys can get this from Amazon, you want to chew on mastic gum like every day or 2 to 4 times a week if you can, and this will actually make you look like your Giga Chad, which I think you guys know who Giga Chad is here. Make you look like this, bro. It'll literally make you look like this if you have mastic gum. I typically chew for like 30 minutes. Sometimes I forget, but I try to do it at least 3 times a week. And I recommend you guys do that. Like today I forgot, but we'll get back to it after this video. And yeah, the beauty is in the maxilla really because, in TikTok, in other places, they term the word recessed maxilla. And it's so true because when you have a recessed maxilla, it literally looks like you have a double chin and you look subhuman. You want to build your maxilla up. You want to chew on hard foods. You want to take your time to eat. You want to chew slowly. You don't want to eat like a pig. And overall, you want to breathe through your nose. These are like the big recaps. And I mean, here's everything we talked about today. Literally, lifestyle makes us uglier. Technology, just the food that we're given, makes us uglier. You want to eat harder food if you can, and you want to breathe out of your nose, not your mouth. I know it's his mouth here, because that's literally cranial face dystrophy. I don't know if I said that right, but it's the opposite of hypertrophy, atrophy, I think. And yeah, that's the whole video, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know what I can improve on. I might sound like a little bit out of energy, but it's been a long day. Thank you guys very much, and have a wonderful night.